Good to see you today. It's a good day to be here. We're starting off this message series, Can't Buy Me, and we're going to be going through this next several weekends. And Alex talked about our Christmas Eve service at the big barn up here, just north of our property here. We're super excited to be able to offer that this year. Kind of wanting to do it for the last several years. We think it's a great venue for you to invite your family and friends to come, and very non-threatening kind of place. And who wouldn't want to do Christmas in a barn, right? Jesus did, and so that's why we're doing that. It's going to be fun. But unfortunately, we threw it out on a little Facebook post, and you had to reserve spots. And within about an hour, we filled the first service up. And like, oh, what do we do? Let's have another one. And like, okay. And then they won't even let us do any more. So like, so it's kind of crazy. But anyway, thank you so much for getting behind that. I hope you are inviting your family and friends to come to that. And then Christmas Eve, all Sunday morning long and then afternoon is available as well. So hope that you'll bring your friends to those services. We tend to think that money can buy us a lot of stuff, right? That's why we're very confused when people who have great wealth and power and influence are not happy people, right? And we're like, well, how could they get divorced? Or how could they go through problems? Like, they got money. I have money problems, but if I had money, I wouldn't have problems, right? That's not what we think. And so we think that money can solve all kinds of issues and problems for us. And so today we're going to take a look at that money can't buy us love. And the Beatles did teach us that. But we have been confused for a very long time about what love is. And a lot of us think that it's kind of like in our culture, love and lust are very similar. But all I have to do is just say a couple of names today, and we know, oh, that's not what love is. If I was to say Hugh Hefner or Harvey Weinstein, we go, well, that's not love. That's lust, right? And we can buy that. We have been able to buy and purchase lust for a long time. But that's why we're confused, because we think that's what that is, and we don't know what love is. And just like we think, well, if you're rich and famous and powerful, you can get a lot of stuff, right? But you can't make somebody love you. You can't. Even if you got all the money and the power and the influence of the world, you can't make them love you. All the money can't buy us love. And you can't make me love you. I can make me love you, but you can't make me love you. The Greeks had three words for love. There was brotherly love and sexual love and unconditional love. And that's why we're confused by it, because we just use the word love. And that's why we can love our dog and our wife at the same time. Or Dr. Pepper or pumpkin spice things. We can love sweet corn and fall weather. But is that the kind of love really that will sustain a relationship? It's no wonder that we echo the words of Foreigner. I want to know what love is, and I want you to show me, because we are clueless. Now, the Bible's not. The Bible's very clear about what love is. 1 John chapter 4, verse 8. Anyone who does not love does not know God, for God is love. Now, it's not saying that God does loving things, absolutely, but he cannot do an unloving thing. He will always and can't help himself, right? He has to love. It's who he is. Because if he doesn't, right, that's not in the Bible. Verse 16, chapter 4. We know how much God loves us, do we, right? Well, and we have put our trust in his love. God is love, and all who live in love live in God, and God lives in them. John 3:16, we know this verse. Even if we're not very familiar with the Bible, we probably know this verse. For God so loved the world, right? That he gave. Love always gives. Love doesn't take. Love's not demanding that way. Love doesn't demand. It always gives. It's always generous. For God so loved the world that he gave. Who? His best, his only, his most important thing ever, his son, so that whoever would believe it, everybody could believe in him, would not perish, but have everlasting life. There's an amazing, you just drill into that for just one moment, you discover a little bit about what love is. So you cannot command this. You can't command love. Or you can't command a feeling, but you can command somebody to love you. John 13:34. So now I'm giving you a new commandment. Love each other. He didn't say, and I'm giving you a new commandment, feel this way about her. Nope. Just as I have loved you, you should love each other. Can you imagine if the God wasn't loving, that he was just powerful? And most of the time we think, well, that's kind of what I want in a God. I want a God of all power, especially, might makes right, survival of the fittest, the strongest wins. But the only way we could survive a God who is all-powerful, and that's it, right? He's all-powerful, is to get on his good side, which means perhaps we could buy him off. But God is love. Every day I am to announce my love for him. I'm to love God with all my heart, all my soul, with all my mind and all my strength. That I'm supposed to love my neighbor as myself. And I make that declaration to him every single day. The key word there is all. Anything short of all crushes love. Scott McKnight says love is sacred because genuine love is total in its commitment. Love asks either from us everything or nothing. It asks for all. I used to do marriage, premarital counseling, and don't do that anymore, and have couples come, and I always say this, like, why do you want to get married? Because we love each other. But it's usually like this, because we love each other. All right? I think, is that enough? Nope. In fact, I don't even think most of the couples that are in front of me know what love is. My goal in that session is to help them understand what commitment is, because love is total commitment to everything about that, right? It's all in. We're either all in or just like, you can't be just halfway kind of. Listen to these great words by John Legend. Because all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give you all to me, I'll give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning. Even when I lose, I'm winning, because I give you all of me, and you give me all of you. No wonder we like that song. Oh, if we could find somebody like that. So what is love? Well, 1 Corinthians 13, we probably know this verse if we go to weddings, right? It's always at a wedding. And it should be. I mean, it's important. I think it's a good one. By the way, 1 Corinthians 13 has very little to do with marriage. It was about church. And so he was telling you got to start loving each other at church. Now, I think it's very romantic. It's a very powerful passage, and we'll look at it here today. But here we go, 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 6. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable. It keeps no record of wrongs. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love is patient. So I looked up the definition of patient, and this is what it is. The ability to remain calm and not become annoyed when dealing with problems or difficult people. See how helpful that would be at a church? I'm looking at something right now. The ability to remain calm and not become annoyed. You see why that's a good thing in a marriage? Absolutely. How can you tell the difference between love and lust? Love is patient. Lust is not. It never is. Love is about waiting. Lust is about getting. Love is about giving. I hear this, but I'm afraid I will lose him. He's putting pressure on. If I don't go a little bit farther, he'll find somebody else who will. Well, that's not love. That's lust. There's a difference. I think attraction is super important and powerful in any marriage relationship, but obviously that's not what's going to keep us together. Proverbs 15:18. A hot-tempered person starts a fight. A cool-tempered or a patient person stops them. 1 Peter 3:20. Those who disobeyed God long ago when God waited patiently. Why did he wait patiently? God is love, right? If he couldn't wait patiently, we wouldn't have that description of who he is. God waited patiently while Noah was building the boat, right? Noah and the ark and the animals. He waited patiently. Only 8 people were saved from drowning in that terrible flood. Only 8. Everybody else gone, right? And how patient was God? Well, extremely. You know how long it takes Noah to build that boat? 120 years. He's not good at it. It had to get material from somewhere. And it had some help, and nobody was helping. It was just his family. You would think that, that if God was not patient, he would have built it in 6 months. We'll get the job done, God. We'll get this done. I see some rain clouds. Let's get going. 120 years. And every single day, people walk by that boat. They're like, what's that boat for? Well, there's going to be a big flood. Sure, whatever. And 6 years and 60 years into the deal. And 119 years into the deal. Only 8 people walk into the boat. That's how patient God was with those people. And by the way, that's how patient he is with you. Some of you are here today because God is patient with you. If he wasn't patient with you, right, and me, but God is patient. That's what a loving thing he is, right? He's patient with me. And then he says love is kind. 2 Peter 3:9. Somewhere, here we go. The Lord isn't really being slow about his promise, as some people think. No, he's being patient for your sake. Not for his sake, for your sake. He does not want anyone to be destroyed, but wants everyone to repent. It's interesting that God could have chosen just about any word to, love is patient, right? And love is kind. He could have chosen any word right there at that moment to define what love is, but he chose kindness. The quality of being friendly and generous and considerate. Once again, with action here. Psalm 63, verse 3, because your loving kindness is better than life. He's telling that to God. Your loving kindness is way better than life. Why would David write that? My guess is he's lived with a person who's cruel, thoughtless, selfish. The word, oftentimes is the word, this loving kindness is the word hesed. It's a powerful word of describing the loving kindness of God. It has to be part of love. 1 Corinthians 13 goes on. It says here's what love is. It's patient, kind, but love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. Would you say that there's a lot of jealousy in relationships now? Sure, I think so. I see it all the time. It's called Facebook. Jealousy everywhere. Love does not demand its own way. It's not irritable. It keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice. Rejoices, though, whenever truth wins out. Love's not jealous. So if jealousy is in part of a relationship, I think that you got to pull that back. Like you're dating a very jealous person. If you're dating a jealous boyfriend, that's just in signals everywhere. Should just like what if you are dating a jealous girlfriend, like what is going on here? Well, love has not been established yet. Now, there's some trust issues, obviously, but why is that happening? Well, because I demanded my own way. I want to do whatever I want with whoever I want I want to go out and with my friends. Well, okay, well, see, there's some demands there that, all right. And we just kind of admit that, well, maybe we haven't found love yet. At the end of the Corinthian passage there, it ends in a flourish. And it says, love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. Yet I'm painfully aware that just affection, physical attraction, not enough. Now, again, that's why we struggle when we look at the best and the beautiful and the most powerful people, and they always look great. It's like, well, how could there be problems in their life? I'm going to read the passage a little bit differently now from 1 Corinthians 13. I'm going to put a little mirror here into my life. And this is your homework to do today. Not right now, but sometime I want you to read this passage out loud, and I want you to put your name in the passage. So I'm going to put my name just as an example, and I don't want anybody clearing their throat or like that, right? So like we're not doing that, right? But you'll understand. Mark is patient. Thank you. Mark is patient and Mark is kind. Mark's not jealous or boastful or arrogant or rude. Mark never insists on his own way. Hey. He doesn't get irritable or resentful. Mark doesn't rejoice at wrong, but he will rejoice in the right. Mark bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Now, you get to do that sometime today. I hope that you will get out your Bibles. 1 Corinthians is a wonderful little book in the New Testament. You can find that and read through that. And I hope that you will just use it as a mirror for how you are doing in your relationships. In the book of Luke, we find that Jesus is eating at the home of a man named Simon. And Simon is a Pharisee, and so he is a mover and shaker. He's a leader. He's a very spiritual and very righteous man. He's probably very powerful in the community he's a part of, and so he's got influence and wealth there. And respect. The people in their community would have respected Simon and liked him. So Simon is throwing a dinner party where Jesus is the invited guest. This is a big deal. And again, typically in their region, they would not have the meal in the house. If they could, they would have it outside in the courtyard area where people could mingle and be around. And if you were just in the community, you could just be a part of it as well. You could just show up. And it really was a chance for Simon to show off a little bit, maybe how important he is, and Jesus is at his house, and he's serving good food, and so people are there, and they're aware of what's going on. There is a woman there, and she is described like this: a woman who earns her oil. She is a female prostitute. And the little word there we would glean from that is that she is reserved for the wealthiest of Romans. She's a high-end call girl for the rich and famous, the powerful. While she's there, she's at the feet of Jesus, and it's awkward. She can't stop crying. She kisses his feet and pours expensive oil on his feet. How do you think this woman feels about men in general? What is her opinion of the men in that room? I can tell you what it is. You've seen it lately. You've seen it a lot. As one by one, young women have gone on TV and told of their experiences with the rich and the powerful. There's a wall. They're messed up. They're hurt. And they're mad. And they're carrying a boatload of shame. And that's what this woman's bringing to that party. And for somehow, some way, she has found a man who hasn't wanted anything from her. And she doesn't know what to do but cry. Not everybody's happy with the affections being shown at that moment. Simon, the host, pitches a fit. She's a sinner. He didn't want to completely embarrass her by saying the word prostitute, but everybody knew the idea, what he was trying to convey here. And Jesus responds to Simon and to this woman. And Jesus doesn't sugarcoat it. He doesn't pretend. He doesn't say whatever, listen to this. This is what he tells Simon. And she is hearing it. I tell you, her sins, and they are many. And she knows it. And everybody does. But he goes on. Have been forgiven. So she has shown me much love. But a person who is forgiven, now Simon, person who has been forgiven little, shows only little love. And then Jesus turns to her. Your sins are forgiven. The men at the table said among themselves, who does he think he is? Forgiven sins. So Jesus says to the woman, your faith has saved you. Go in peace. I think maybe somebody here today needs to hear that as well. It's quite possible that you're bringing in a heavy load. And it's just awkward to be in church or to cry through a service or hide in the back. Now for years. But I want you to hear these words as if Jesus was to say, that's not my words, this is his. I love you with an everlasting love. If you want to forgive your sins right now, here right now. And you can go in peace. Let's pray. Oh, man, if we could only understand the love of God. That while we were still sinners, you died for us. If we would repent of our sins and turn to you, you would forgive us of all unrighteousness. We long for the peace that you can give. In Christ we pray.